One of Asia's most prestigious universities is on the front line of a battle for democracy. The self-censorship began after June last year, and Beijing imposed a controversial and sweeping national security law on the city. Since then, more than 140 people have been arrested under the law, including activists, journalists, politicians and educators, and, of those, 85 have been charged. Academic freedom has been eroded. Freedom of speech has been eroded in this university, said one university lecturer, who asked to be referred to by the pseudonym Gordon as they still work at the university. To pretend that it hasn't is ignoring reality. How the NSL came about. In November 2019, students concealed their identity with masks as they barricaded stairways of the university's campus with couches and tables. Together, they amassed slingshots and Molotov cocktails, turning their university into a fortress against riot police who swarmed outside, armed with tear gas.
Some lecturers publicly supported student demonstrators. The day students turned HKU into a fortress, professors braved the tense face-off to negotiate with police. Throughout the protests, staff helped students when they got arrested and provided mental health support, according to students and faculty. The law established the crimes of secession, subversion, terrorism and collusion with foreign countries or external elements. Some crimes carried a maximum penalty of life in prison. Although the law was vague and wide-ranging, authorities initially said the law would only target an extremely small minority of offenders. And at HKU, once a beacon for freedom of expression and thought, some say it has already had a chilling effect. Sarah Cook, Freedom House's research director for China, Hong Kong and Taiwan, said political discussion at Hong Kong universities was once as free as at Western institutions. The university's openness had been gutted, almost overnight, she said. A Hong Kong government spokesperson said universities continued to enjoy academic freedom, but also had the responsibility to make sure their operation complied with the law. HKU said it continued to uphold the principles of academic freedom and institutional autonomy. There are no boundaries to research and studies provided that they are within the law, a HKU spokesperson said. Fears in the classroom. HKU lecturer Amy, who isn't using her real name for fear of repercussions, says she has become more anxious about covering certain topics since the national security law was imposed. She increasingly feels as if her classroom is becoming isolated from the real world. On campus, rumors circulate among professors and students that a student who got a grade they didn't like reported their lecturer to the National Security Hotline, set up so the public can inform authorities about breaches of the national security law, according to two lecturers. The police did not confirm these reports, although a spokesperson said the hotline had received more than 100,000 pieces of information since it was launched in November 2020. Rumors like this only add to the fear and chill that have swept over HKU. Amy said the university's leaders use doublespeak that only added to the confusion. The senior management of the university has insisted that we still have academic freedom, and that we should not self-censor. But then in the next sentence, they'll tell us to be careful and not to break the law, said one member of staff, who asked to be known as Mary. The Faculty of Arts held a meeting last year with a member of the university's senior management team to ask for more specific guidelines on how the national security law would affect what they could write and study, according to two people who were present. During that meeting, staff asked whether they could still teach about topics such as democracy in Hong Kong, Amy said. They were told they would not have to worry if what they were saying was academic. They were also told not to incite students, although it was not made clear what would be considered incitement, she said. I have found myself sometimes saying innocent things that sound like an incitement, but then I have to turn around and make a joke that I'm not inciting people, she added. Professors say this vague advice has left them unsure what could see them reported to police. A university crackdown as students enjoyed their summer break, a sign of what the national security law means for the university, was unfolding on campus. National security police officers raided HKU's student union on July 16. Removing evidence as onlookers and media peered through the glass doors outside. On July 7, the student union had passed a motion expressing its deep sadness and appreciation for the sacrifice in Hong Kong of a man who had killed himself shortly after stabbing and seriously injuring a police officer in a busy shopping street. In politically charged Hong Kong, where months of protests led many to see the police as the enemy, a minority saw the attacker as a martyr. Authorities characterized the attack as terrorism and police quickly branded union leaders as messengers of terrorism. HKU said the situation would not affect the continued commitment of the university to facilitate and support extracurricular activities on campus. Hong Kong police said 32 students attended that meeting. The HKU Council said it would, until further notice and subject to review, ban all students who attended the meeting from campus and refuse them access to any university resources. These students' presence on campus would pose serious legal and reputational risks to the university and have negative impact on its other members, the HKU Council said in a statement. And on August 18th, 4 members, ages 18 to 20, were arrested and later charged with advocating terrorism, which carries a maximum penalty of 10 years in prison. 7 members of HKU's 60-member court, which oversees the university and is headed by the city's legal arm, issued an open letter to the University Council, asking them to withdraw the decision to bar members from campus and claiming the university had stripped students of their right to education. The ban remains in place. Lam was not one of the 7 signatories. They're trying to shut down all student political activity and campus political speech. As much as possible, they want to eliminate any student organisation that might have political content or engage in political activity, said Chris Fraser, a professor who left HKU for the University of Toronto in July this year. One fourth-year government and law student at HKU, who was active in the student union in the past, said after the arrests, he and his friends removed everything in their dorm rooms they thought could breach the national security law. I think all students are sad, that normal students are deeply affected by the incident, he said.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe.